Lots of new movies opening this weekend. Let's get to it. Of course, the biggest release this weekend is the latest Halloween film. This is a direct sequel to the original 1978 version, so you can throw out and disregard all of the other Halloween movies that have come in between. This one once again stars Jamie Lee Curtis and picks up 40 years after the events of the original, where serial killer Michael Myers terrorized a small Midwestern town on Halloween night. If you go to the theater for some good thrills, to squirm in your seat, or to just be entertained, you're going to like this latest Halloween. Comedian Danny McBride from Vice Principals and Eastbound and Down is credited as a co-writer on the screenplay, so there's some really funny moments as well mixed in with all the horror. At its core, this is a cheap slasher movie though, and it doesn't really do anything fresh or new. There are a lot of great throwback scenes that echo the original, so I think fans of the franchise are going to probably love it. I didn't quite love that the whole premise of the sequel was based on the fact that Michael Myers was apparently captured and put in a mental institution following the events of the first film. It takes away a lot of the mystery of the character, and even though they don't show us his face again, they could have, I guess, since most of the characters in this movie surely have seen it. So there's some manipulative devices like that hold Halloween back from being great. Heck, I would even say that I enjoyed the recent Hellfest movie over the new Halloween. But Hellfest would have never existed if not for the original Halloween, and this sequel does it justice, even if it doesn't quite expand on the film's legacy. I give Halloween a B-. Next up is a movie that I consider to be one of the worst of the year. The Oath stars and is written and directed by Ike Barinholtz, and there are some traces that this might have been a better, more thoughtful movie. Instead, it's a complete disaster. A fictional president in this one has asked all citizens to take an oath to pledge their loyalty to him, just in time for Thanksgiving dinner for Barinholtz and his family. Tiffany Haddish, who has pretty much been in every single movie it seems since Girls Trip, is misused once again, and most every character is some kind of a thin cliche. But when you think this movie might have something to say, or it might have some kind of perspective on the things that divide us, it instead devolves into a crazy kidnapping story that turns violent and bizarre. There are barely any laughs at all, making you wonder if comedy was even the route Barinholtz was attempting. This is a mean-spirited, unfunny mess, and here's an oath I'll make to you: you'll never catch me watching The Oath ever again. I give this movie a D. 2 documentaries are also seeing release this weekend. The first is Free Solo, a movie that is being touted as one of the year's best documentaries about a guy who climbs mountains without any ropes or support. There's some dazzling camera work in this, and if you're scared of heights like me, this might be the scariest movie of the weekend, even with Halloween in theaters. But the subject of the doc, Alex Honnold, is sort of a jerk. I wish he wasn't, because I'd have an easier time rooting for him. His personality was sort of off-putting, and although that shouldn't take anything away from his accomplishments, it sort of does. But again, go see Free Solo if you dare. It's maybe the best film of the year that has the word solo in it, and I give it a B. Then we have Tea with the Dames, a doc that is just what it sounds like. A bunch of old ladies sitting around drinking tea. But these dames aren't just anybody. They're legendary actresses of the screen and stage. Judi Dench, Maggie Smith, Eileen Atkins, and Joan Plowright sit around and tell stories, joke with one another, and make each other laugh, and it's a pure delight. This one may not win any awards, but it's a fun watch, and that'll have you smiling throughout, feeling amazed that Maggie Smith was not offered more comedies. She is undeniably hilarious. Tea with the Dames gets a B+. For more detailed reviews of these and other movies, please check me out on Rotten Tomatoes. You can go to the site, search the critics list to find Tom Santilli, and you can scroll through all of my recent and not so recent reviews. Another good way to find my stuff is to follow me on Twitter @Tom Santilli, or go to the website movieshowplus.com. That's all for this week. Until next time.